What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin. So I have another fantasy book haul for you guys today. It's been a while. Whenever I'm in a reading mood, I have to get more books. Even though it's like, God dang it, I already have a huge backlog. Right, but there were a lot of books I read on this channel that, I want to read the sequels, right? So I picked up a bunch of books at the Value Village, which is a thrift store chain in Canada, which is honestly, in my opinion, the best place to get books because, a lot of the books I like are like the older books where they have the the older fantasy books where they have the beautiful covers, right? And you can get them for like cheap prices, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just getting them all from the from the bag, right? So the first book I picked up, which I totally messed up, and I already had this book, but I wasn't, I wasn't thinking. So I picked up The List of Seven by Mark Frost. This is technically not a fantasy book, but it was in the fantasy section of the Valley Village, which was like, fuck, man. I should have checked the thrillers, because maybe they would have had the sequel there, which, I thought this was the sequel, not realizing the first book was The List of Seven, right? This was written by Mark Frost. We did a review of this book already on the channel, but obviously it didn't have this cool cover, right? So I paid like $4 for this. And yeah, like I said, I did a review for this book if you want to check it out. But like, look at this cool cover. It opens up, and you can see the characters and some of the creatures in the film. Sorry, in the book. My bad. Which there was was there a chase on a train? There was a chase on a train. I don't remember. But yeah, this book was pretty cool. The Game's Afoot, which is a reference to Arthur Conan Doyle is the main character of this book, right? And this is a beautiful cover, right? But yeah, I already reviewed this book, so if you want to check that out, check it out. Okay, next book I picked up, which are the Tad Williams to Green Angel Tower Part 1. Look at this beautiful fantasy cover, this is technically the third book, supposed to be the third book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy, which we reviewed the first one on this channel, but the third book was split into two books, even though it's supposed to be a trilogy, right? And I also picked up the second one, to Green Angel Tower, though they're not in the best conditions. Right, they look cool, man, and it's like I heard, I heard the advice from somebody who's like, when you're collecting old books, if you could, as long as all the pages are there and it doesn't have a ripped cover, just buy it, and if you see a better, better conditioned copy down the line, then pick that one up. But yeah, this was great, and yeah. I still need the second book in the trilogy, but, at least I have the finale, right? So, yeah. Also, this one has, coffee stains. But, holy crap. But, yeah, I'm glad I picked these up. These look great. Next two books are Magician's... I just knocked over Jean Grey. Jean Grey, no! There's Jean Grey in her X Factor uniform. Yeah, so this is Magician's Gamut by David Eddings. This is the third book in the Bellegarde, which we reviewed the first one, Pawn of Prophecy. This series has 5 books, right? And, yeah, I picked up the third one, And I also picked up the fourth one, which is Castle of Wizardry, right? Now I only need the second and fifth book, right? And the last book I picked up, which has a sticker that says 50 cents. It was not 50 cents, unfortunately. I paid $5, but it was worth it. And that's the Wish Song of Shannara, an epic fantasy. This is the third book in the Shannara Chronicles by Terry Brooks. Even though they're kind of you kind of don't really need to read the first one to read the second one. But, it is what it is. It's funny. Before I went to the books, the Value Village after work, I was like thinking, man, if I see a Shannara Chronicles book, I'm not even going to bother, right? But it was like, I was finding, like, books from, like, further down in the series of the, further down in the series of the books I was reading, right? So at least I have the, this one I could read right now if I wanted to. Because, like, I read the first two books, right? So I thought, I'll pick this up. And a beautiful cover. Very much reminds me of the covers for the, Wheel of Time books, which, maybe, is there illustrations in here? The first two books had illustrations. No, there's no, here, there is illustrations. The book, when I opened it made like a weird noise, like the spine came apart or something. Like the cover was gonna come apart. But, yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Oh, here's another illustration. Looks good. Looks cool. So I have no idea what this book is about. I heard from a channel that, inspired me to read the Shannara books. From, what was his channel's name? ThriftEGaming. He did a review for the first two books, and I asked him if the other ones were worth reading, and he's like, yeah, not really. But fuck it, like, I went to the, I wanted to pick up some books to read, and, I got them. I got it. So, I'll read it I'll read it at some point, but, I think I'm going to read the second, fuck, what was the name of that series? Oh, the Terry Goodkind book, what was it called? I forget the name of that fucking series. The sequel to Wizard's First Rule, the Sword of Truth series, right? Because I read the Shannara, I read the first Shannara Chronicles book, and, like, the Terry Goodkind, the Sword of Truth book, like, back to back. So I think I want to read this, the second Sword for Truth series book before I read this one. But yeah, we'll review this at some point. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, guys. Look at this. Look at this. These covers, man. Beautiful. They don't do fantasy book covers like this anymore, man. Holy crap. But yeah, beautiful artwork, man. You gotta admit. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. At some point this week, I'm going to review Dragons of Winter Night, which is the second book in the Dragonlance Chronicles. I'm like, I started reading it. I'm like, a third of the way in. I'll finish it by this weekend, hopefully. All right, guys.